The sun had barely risen over the dusty town of Mavoko when Mr. Baraka stepped out of his sleek black car. He wore a wide smile, the kind that promised hope. To many, he was a savior, a man who gave jobs to the desperate. But behind that smile lay darkness, a darkness that had already swallowed many innocent souls. For months, Baraka's posters hung across market walls. Job openings, office assistants, drivers, cleaners, apply now, accommodation and meals provided. To the poor youth of Mavoko, it was a miracle. Jobs were scarce and hunger was common. One by one they came, hopeful, grateful, and trusting.
Among them was Samuel, a 23-year-old who had just lost his father. He needed money for his mother's medication. When he saw Baraka's advert, his heart leaped with relief. "At last," he whispered, "God has answered." Baraka welcomed him warmly. "My son," he said, placing a hand on his shoulder, "you have the face of a hard worker. Come with me tomorrow. Your new life awaits." That night, Samuel packed his small bag, hugged his mother tightly, and promised to return with his first salary. "Don't worry, Mama. I'll make you proud."
The next morning, Baraka's car drove them, Samuel and two others, deep into the countryside. The road narrowed, the trees thickened, and soon only the sounds of birds and wind remained. "Where is the office?" Samuel asked, his voice trembling slightly. Baraka's smile didn't fade. "We're almost there," he said softly.
But when they arrived, there was no office, only an old, abandoned compound surrounded by tall grass. The air felt heavy, and something inside Samuel screamed, "Run!" Before he could move, men in red robes appeared from the shadows. Baraka's tone changed, cold, sharp. "Tie them." Samuel's breath caught. "Sir, you promised us jobs." Baraka's eyes glowed with greed. "You'll serve me in a greater way than you can imagine." That night, the forest echoed with cries, cries swallowed by the dark.
Days later, Baraka returned to town with the same charming smile and new job posters. No one questioned the missing youths. Poverty had made disappearances common. But fate, as always, had a way of returning what was owed. Months later, Baraka lured another young woman, Amina, whose brother had vanished after joining Baraka's company. She played her part, pretending to be desperate, but she carried something Baraka couldn't see, a secret recording device given by the police. When he led her to the same compound, officers followed from a distance. As Baraka prepared his ritual, the forest filled with flashing lights and shouting men. He tried to flee, but the spirits he had betrayed turned against him. He stumbled, fell into his own altar, and screamed as fire consumed his robes. The police later found remains of many victims, and among them a bracelet engraved with Samuel.
When news reached Samuel's mother, she wept, not only for her son, but for all who had trusted too easily. Yet in her tears there was a strange peace. Evil had finally met its end. Baraka's name became a curse, and his house was left to rot. But the story of his deceit lived on, a warning to all. Not every hand that offers help means you well, and not every smile hides kindness.